I made a video about Bitcoin and BlackRock and about how I'm wary about what they're up to and why Larry Fink and other establishment figures are so bullish about Bitcoin and how they keep talking it up because we're scarred by what happened in the past with the likes of Jamie Dimon, when they come and say something and do the exact opposite in the background. So over the years, I've learned to be a little bit wary and to basically think about doing the opposite, or at least not be too enthusiastic when these guys come out and start talking fresh about something, right? I had a look at Ripple, the company, the other day, and I got that little feeling as well of a little bit of skepticism. Now, not XRP, the XRP ledger itself is different, all right? XRP ledger, and Ripple, the company. These are three different things, right? Three different entities of their own. XRP ledger, that's the L1 blockchain that does its thing without influence, without corruption. That's an open source, transparent blockchain. And things like XRP healthcare are sitting on that, which I'm a big fan of, right? So in a way, XRP ledger can detach itself from Ripple, the company, right? And go and do its own thing. It's forkable, and we've seen it forked many times to basically take itself in a different direction. So I'm happy about that. I'm bullish about that. XRP, the token, right? Again, that is a decentralized token, sort of. Unfortunately, the power swings in one direction, but it's being distributed and it has the potential to be fully decentralized, right? And then you have Ripple, the company. That's the one that slightly bothers me. Because now let's take a look at the leadership board. Here we have Brad Garlinghouse. He's a household name now, if not in the XRP Army community, probably in all of crypto. Everyone knows who Brad is, right? Chief Executive Officer. We all know David Schwartz, who's the Chief Technology Officer. We see him saying a lot of things on X and other forms of social media. We have Monica Long, who's the president. She's usually around, very vocal during events, big events, right? Again, a household name. John Billick, I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not really sure how popular he is. He's a chief financial officer. One would think that he would be well known to the people who are following what's happening with the escrow releases and stuff like that. Okay, if we just scroll a little bit down to Stuart Alderoty, if not the second, at least the third most famous after Brad Garlinghouse and Schwartz, because of course the SEC thing has been going on for a while and he's kind of been front and center of that. But this is the bit that I am a little bit sort of about, right? Of course, we know Chris Larsen, who's executive chairman, also a co-founder. All right, now as you scroll through this, what do you notice, right? Very super corporate, even sort of political looking people, right? This is the obvious first one. Like, if you look at this picture here, what vibe do you get, right, with Rosie Rios? She's a board member. What do you get? I get the vice president of the United States kind of vibe from her, or secretary of state, or something like that, right? Establishment, right? You click on her, surprise, surprise. She has over 30 years of experience in public policy and investment management. She served as the 43rd treasurer of the United States and was the CEO of the Bureau of Engraving and Printing and, and the US Mint. Okay? She led efforts to place a female portrait on US currency for the first time in over a century. After resigning in 2016, she received the Hamilton Award, the highest honor bestowed in the US Department of Treasury. Rios, the longest-serving Senate-confirmed Treasury official, starting on the Federal Reserve transition, yada, 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 yada. As you can see, she's super establishment and she's very, very into politics, right? The United States political scene. Now, as Americans, you guys probably recognize that immediately. As someone who's not American, I had no idea who she was until I clicked and read that bio. This guy also looking kind of like, he's seen a few political things. I see what he's done, right? Michael Warren. Michael Warren is the managing director of Albright Stonebridge Group, part of the Dayton's Global Advisors. Okay, he has over 20 years of experience advising clients on international growth strategies, stakeholder management issues, and economic and geopolitical issues affecting global markets. Okay, prior to that, Warren served in the administration of 2 U.S. presidents, and there we have it. Warren was senior advisor of the White House Presidential Personnel Office during President Barack Obama's first term in office. There you go. So he worked for Obama and some other presidents of the United States. Again, probably has, these guys' phone numbers on his phone. You can get on the phone and call Gary Gensler, Elizabeth Warren, probably Donald Trump. You know, Sadie O'Connor, you guys probably already recognize her. Okay, Sadie O'Connor is a recognized financial industry thought leader with a career spanning over 30 years. She retired as Chief Regulatory Affairs Officer for JP Morgan Chase, where she set the regulatory strategy and led engagement with G20 policymakers. That's some international politics there. Previously held senior positions including Global Treasurer, Head of Prime Services, and was a member of the Executive Committee. She supported the integrity of the efficiency of the capital markets, yada, 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 Treasury, blah, blah, blah. So again, super establishment. She's worked for JP Morgan for 30 years, setting policy. She's like first name basis with Jamie Dimon and all these Larry Fink guys, right? This guy looks kind of politicsy as well. New York Stock Exchange, just scanning all of that, you can see all the keywords there, right? So my point is, this is not a team of tech startups, right? This is not a team led by geeks from Silicon Valley, like some of you might be led to believe. These aren't people who are fighting the power. These guys are the power. So as you can see, Ripple is not some tech startup. They're not some underdog anti-establishment company. Ripple itself as a company is the establishment, right? We saw the people on the board. These people have direct influence on the decisions that Ripple makes. Now, looking at the range of people in the leadership, it kind of makes me wonder why they have such a big problem with the SEC. You think some of these guys who are in government or have influences and lobbies in the government would be on the phone to Gary Gensler or be on first name basis with him, and they'll be able to resolve some of these problems behind the scenes. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't, who knows? It's kind of confusing for me. I would have thought, as members of the establishment and members of the board of Ripple who want the best interests of Ripple, or perhaps they're there to make sure that it doesn't succeed. Who knows, man? All I'm saying is that we don't know anything, right? We understand the things that they tell us. We can only go with what we see in the news. We don't really know what's going on in the background, right? Now, why can't some of these guys who have been advisors to ex-presidents, who have been members of big banks and stuff, who are right now members of the board of multiple organizations that include banks that are controlling things in the background, why can't they get on the phone and sort this stuff out, right? The flip side of that, of course, is that they are sorting things out. And what we're watching now, laid out in front of us, the whole Ripple SEC thing, is just theater. And they already know what they're going to do, which is why they have these heavy hitters on their board, sitting there, making sure that the dream is alive, making sure that everything is going in the right direction. Best believe what we are thinking, what we are doing as retail, XRP Army, has nearly zero effect on what's going to happen with XRP. This is one of the reasons why I believe that it doesn't matter what you hear on YouTube, it doesn't matter what happens in the courts. XRP is destined to be what they want it to be. And as far as I can see now, the target is for it to be some kind of world reserve currency. Now, Russia of BRICS is making moves at the moment and calling for a bridge currency to be created as soon as possible. I'm going to do a whole video on that when I'm going to relate that to XRP and what chances it has of being a part of this. Stay tuned for that. But none of what I've said today is financial advice. Of course, it's just my own personal opinion. Do your own research. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.